In this part we are gonna complete the JavaScript validation. So let's begin. As all those variables are declared, now we are gonna check each of those input fields. So let's just create an ID. Let's first check for the first name. So make here one ID will be fname, let's say, and we are gonna check. We are gonna check two times. First, while we are giving input, we are gonna check that time, and one will be another while we are completing all those input fields, and when we are gonna click this submit button, we are gonna check the final validations. So while we are typing, we are gonna check that can be achieved using one attribute known as on key up. So we are gonna put function name our validate fname, copy, function validate name, let's create one variable f name, and that will be document dot get element by id fname. This will be this id of the input tag. After that, dot value. Now we are going to add some conditions to check those input fields. If fname dot length equals to 0, then fname error dot inner HTML will be first name is required. Return false. So here fname will display the error message first name is required. Here we are checking if fname dot length equals to 0. This means if this first name is empty, then we are going to show this first name is required error message using a variable fname error. Here we have declared that variable fname error, which is none other than fname error id, that is span tag of that first name input field. So we are going to add some more functions, if functions, to check that if not fname dot match. Here we're gonna mix regex box a z. Okay, after this star dollar. After that fname dot fname error dot inner html numeric is not allowed, return false. So here we are basically checking that if first name is not a character, that means if it contains some digits, then we are going to show this error message. This is restricting input in that input field should contains only and only characters, not digits. And this not means if fname first name doesn't match with this criteria, then this error message will be showed. Semicolon. So again f name length that will be less than 3, fname error dot inner html equals to first name minimum 3 char required, return false. So here we are checking the length of the first name input field. If it's less than 3, then we are going to show an error message which is minimum 3 required, 3 characters are required. Similarly, we are gonna show similar message for if that field first name contains characters more than 20. Then we're gonna show first name should be less than 20 char, return false. After that fname error dot inner html correct return true. Here we are gonna need to add the script file which we have created. Script src will be script script.js. Now let's just check this once more. Here see, now it's showing correct. Yeah, first name should be less than 20 characters. First name is required, numerics not allowed. Now it's okay. Now here in place of correct we are gonna show tick symbol. So we are gonna write here img let's just image, and that will be, let's just write it here, image source, and source will be check mark dot svg, and source set none. That will be placed here. So let's that. Now this image is way too large. Now we're gonna fix that. Using image field, using an image field, let's just say its width will be 100% and height will be 20 pixels. So let's just make it 25, a little bigger, 30, yeah, 30 will be perfect. Nothing more required. Now it's okay. One, two, three, four, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20. Okay. Now same thing we are gonna put for last name. So let's just copy this
and paste it here and make a little changes, lm, and copy this, and we are gonna put it right here. ID will be, let's say, L, name, on the app it will be this, and it will be L, and then Amy, it will be lm, copy this and paste it here, paste it here, paste it here, paste it here. Now it will be L, name, error. Let's tell all these necessary variables. Now last name.
Now in case of last name, same validations will also be done. So let's just see.
Okay. 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 Okay.
So let's come to date of birth field. So let's give this some ID. ID will be DOB, and on key here we will, as we are using the inbuilt date of birth field, so we are gonna use here on change, and that will be validate DOB. Copy. So let's just come here.
Make function validate DOB. Now access that input field using variable DOB string document dot get element by ID DOB dot value.
Now here we're gonna create one new variable, my date equals to new date. Basically it will give today's date, it will return today's date. Now we are gonna split that dates into parts, our input date into parts, where parts equals to dob string dot split. So now we are going to check all the necessary conditions. If dob string equals to empty, then dob error dot inner html equals to date of birth required. Return false. So let's add another if condition. If date dot parse dob string will be date dot parse my date dot to date string. dob error dot inner html will be you can't. Select future date as dob. Return false. Here, so basically here we are checking either is today's inputted string, user inputted date is greater than today's date or not. If that's, then we are showing an error as can't select that dob as it's a future date. So here we are using a method called parse, using a method parse of date object of JavaScript. So basically parse method converts a date string and returns the numbers of milliseconds since January 1, 1970. So here we are basically doing the user inputs, converting the user inputted date into milliseconds and today's date into milliseconds, and we are comparing that either is that user inputted date is greater than today's date or not. If that's so, then we are showing an error. So let's put another if my date dot get full year parts 0, div error dot inner html. Date of but should not be greater than 24. Return. So here in the second condition we are checking today's year with user inputted year. So while user will input year here, say this 2022, that will be stored in a form of array where year will be at first, then month, then date. Let's just do one thing. Console it using what dob string, control shift I. So let's just see. Here we have inputted first date, then month, then year, but while it's been submitted, it will be stored as year, day, month and date. Let's just console it again at the parts field where we are splitting each category of date, dob parts. Here let's just say this. So here in the 0th index we are storing the year. In the first index we are storing month, and in the second index we are storing date. So here we are comparing today's date with user inputted date, checking. So here we are checking today's date minus user inputted date year, today's year minus user inputted year. If that is greater than 24, then we are showing that age should not be greater than 24. Basically we are restricting that age cannot be greater than 24. So let's just again copy this and paste it here. And it will be dob error. Now it's okay. So similarly we are gonna check for
email, validate, email. Let's just create here one ID, email, and on the app it will be this. Okay. Make email ID, it will be better. Email ID. Okay. So here will be email ID. Copy this and check it here. Email error. Email is required. We are not going to need it this all. Email error.
We're gonna need one regex to match for the email field. That will be like this.
Slash dot plus @. Let's just put it. This is the regex to check email ID. There will be email error. Email is invalid email. Return false. Okay. Here is on key up. It's okay. Enter it. Return false. Oh, here. Email ID. Enter it. Email.com. It's okay. Now similarly will be for phone number. Let's just copy this and paste it here. Validate phone. Copy phone number. Phone num. Let's phone num. Mobile error. Phone number is required. Now we are going to add another if condition to check the length of the phone number size. Phone num dot length if not equals to 10, then mobile error dot inner HTML equals to only digits. Please return false. And here will be phone number that match. We're going to match with some regex. That will be 0 to 9 numbers only allowed, and the length of that number will be 10. Oh, here it will be phone number should be of 10 digits. So here will be only 2 digits, please. Okay, now let's try. Haha. Mobile error. Oh, yeah. Copy. Mobile, where is mobile? ID will, here, what ID I've given? Phone number. Phone number on the app.